Hello, all the King's men. Welcome to another Friday assessment. Yes. Let's get excited. Why? Because you made it across another week. You know what? We are in a time of the year that you know what will be called the holiday season, and there are so many people that go into depression. They go into deep depression. They start to think about the loved ones, the things they lost, the things that they have not accomplished, but they don't think about the things that they have. They don't think about the things that they're not possessing. Why? Because of their mindset. All the King's men, you got to realize you are one of the few that said, I'm going to press on in spite of what I don't have. I'm going to press on because what is up ahead. I'm not going to continue to live in yesterday. I'm going to continue to live in the now. When you live in the now, you're able to possess what God has for you. All the King's men, I thank God for you today. I thank God for you taking some time out of your day to come on and see what God has to say to his men today. All the King's men. So I thank you once again, and I'm celebrating you. Why? Because you did not give up. There are so many that started out on the journey. They said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But it takes tenacity. This is not a sprint. My God, this is a marathon. Why? Because we don't know the day or the hour that God is going to call you home. So all we have to do is continue to press. And when we stay in the press, we take our focus off the everything that's going on in life. Why? Because there are things that are going to just come and bounce off of you, and you're going to continue on. And in that continuing, in that pressing forward, you are still wondering, you're pressing into something that you don't know what is up ahead, but you know who holds the future. You know that there is success up ahead, long as you continue to trust your God, because you're saying that I know that God set me on this path. I know that God has something great for me. So remember, all the King's men, this is the Friday assessment, and we're always looking at ourselves. How can I be better than I was yesterday? How can I be the best me? I'm looking forward to the best me to come forward. I'm not looking at what somebody else said or what somebody else told me who I am. I'm looking at who God says I am. All the King's men, and I always want to come in and keeping that theme, keeping the theme that yes, I have areas that I have success in, but areas I'm not having success in, and I want to replicate it. I want to continue having success, continuing to focus on those areas to drive success, and then the areas that I know that God's spoken on having success. Why? I want to talk about this interesting word, and it's called curious. Curious. When you get curious, my God, you start to see this word persistence and consistency come into play. Why? Because when you curious, you can't see. There's a lot of fog. But when you curious, you start to press into something. You start to say, I know what's there. I know what's up ahead. I know there is something. I may not be able to see it. I may not know what it is, but I'm curious. Do you realize you got to be curious about God's word also? You got to be curious about yourself. What does God say about me? What does his holy Bible, what does his holy word, the word that he spoke to the prophets, what did he say about me? You got to be curious. That's the only way that you're going to continue to get the straight. I'm about to drop a nugget on you. That's the only way that the best you is going to come forward. That's the only way that the predestined you is going to come forward. That's why this is all the King's men. We are all the King's men because of the King. We are going, we're pressing, we're striving, we're curious who this person is. That's why you got to be exposed to this person, because the curiosity then riles up in you. It's then provoked. It's then stirred up. Why? Because when something's stirred up, it gets hot. You know how you do a fire or you do a pot. You got a pot of I'm in the New Orleans area, so we got gumbo. It's very popular. So what happens? You put all these things in the gumbo, and when you stir the pot, what happens? The flavors start to come up. So you need to be curious about yourself, but you got to get in the word. Why? Because there are principles that you have to understand to operate by in order for the real you to come forward. Oh my God. Look, Look, I attended a conference. It was a research and development conference on the last week. And it was something that was very, very, very interesting to me, because everything that this institution did, who put on this conference, it was about solving problems. Do you realize you were here to solve a problem? You were put on this earth with a purpose. Your purpose was an answer. So what they're looking for is answers. Do you realize you have answers? That's why the curiosity, that's why when you press into God, God would continue. He would start to reveal things, and then he'll continue to reveal things as you get in his word. You get more knowledge of his word. And when you get more knowledge, then he starts to bring what we call spiritual understanding. And when you get the spiritual understanding, then he can give you revelation on top of that word. That's where that curiosity comes back in. But you got to press. He's not going to give it to you living any and every kind of way and just doing your own thing. You have to do this on purpose. You have to be curious. Look. When people in the world are curious, there is nothing you can do to stop them. There is nothing you can do to stop them to get to their end. Get to their end, because there's a means to the end. How are you going to get there? What are you going to do to spark your curiosity today? It's so important. There are some areas that you're not having success in, and I need you to focus. Be curious about it. Why am I not experiencing success? Provoke your curiosity. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I'm going to give you a way to start. I'm going to tell you to go over there and start in the epistles, because Paul was teaching these new churches. He was teaching them some things that they should do. He was teaching them their inheritances. He was teaching them some things that they possessed that they didn't even know. He said, look, you walking around as beggars, but you got all of this inheritance you don't even know. Get curious about what you have. You just not possessing it. Look, you ain't by yourself. I'm guilty. That's why I am on this journey to be the best me, to be the one who God designed, who he predestined me to become, because there are some inheritances that I got to possess, that I got to uncover. I'm curious. I don't know about you today, but I want to provoke you to move today. Be curious again. I don't know what may have poured water on your curiosity, on your fire, that may be trying to put it out right now, but be curious again. Be curious about this life. Be curious about your God. Be curious, all the king's men. I thank you today. My God, I just want you to continue to press and don't give up. Never give up. Give up is not an option. Giving up is not an option. Just like there are words that I look to take out of my vocabulary. Let's work on taking giving up out of your vocabulary, because in God there is no giving up. You give it to him, but you don't give up. Why? Because that's who we have to trust. Why? What happens? Because if you love him, this is according to scripture, if you love him, all things are going to work out for your good, because you have been called according to his purpose. All the king's men, I thank you for joining in. My prayers, you have a blessed day, blessed weekend, and a blessed week to come. Drop me a line, like, share, let me know what's going on. Let me know what you want to hear. I will even pray for you. All the king's men, I thank you once again. Be blessed.